Good afternoon. I'm Chetna here. I'm sitting in front of Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee on the 25th day of my protest against the current government, which is Congress government. I've come in front of the Congress office. I'm protesting on the 25th day, asking them to render the justice. Nobody forced them to take the responsibility of people on their shoulders. They voluntarily have come forward and taken the responsibility. Then kindly render justice to us. You've told you will keep law and order, you will develop the state, you will give social justice, you will do social reforms. These are the kind of promises you have given in your manifesto. Kindly stick to your word, render us justice. Until you render the justice, I'm sitting here waiting for you, hoping that you will lend an ear to Dalit, educated Dalit, because I don't know. Today, let's talk about the Puritans and the pollutants in this Indian society. Supposedly, the Puritans are all the upper caste people, and the pollutants are we, the Dalit people. Somehow, this upper caste people, when they're born, they're born with pure, pristine blood. And we Dalits, when our children are born, we are both born with low grade blood. Their children are doing something wrong, it's naughtiness. When our children are doing something wrong, then that's in their blood, low grade blood. Then when their girls run away with other men, then it is youthfulness, the innocence of youthfulness. But if the same thing is done by our ladies, then you can imagine the kind of names, the branding they'll give for our girls. Yet when they are sick or critically ill and they need blood transfusions to be done, then they don't seem to be mind whose blood is getting injected into their body. All they need is to be alive and healthy. How long will we bear up with this nuisance that's going on in this society? When will we stand up to this nuisance that's going on in this society full of double standards? When this upper caste people get into gundaism or the rowdyism, the kind of power and prestige they bring for their family, you should see the kind of walk the women do in their houses, their head held high, as if anybody even tries to, if anybody even tries to talk something wrong to them, they're going to get it. But if we Dalits, someone in our Dalits gets into rowdyism, they're just lower class people, and that's how they're going to end up. Again, most of the people who are in jail are from lower caste people. Check out the data if you want. Most of the Dalits, many Dalits, are in the jail without any bail. But the upper caste gundas, after doing murders and then hitting people, they're just getting away. Even though they are not rich, they can get away because they belong to certain caste. But Dalits are ending up in jail. How fair is the justice system in this country? How fair is the law and order in this country? How long are we going to bear up with all this nonsense that's going on in this society? This is utterly nonsense. In the name of law and order and justice system, they're fooling you and me, Dalit brothers and sisters. Wake up. They're fooling us. It is a system meant to give unjustly one-way orders only to them. This system is not working out for Dalits. Lot of cleaning up to be done, lot of revamping has to be done in this law and order and justice system. Have you seen any data that shows how many Dalit people have enrolled into PhDs and how many have dropped out of it, and the reason for their dropouts? Do you know that? Nobody knows, because my sister tried to do a PhD. They did not allow her to complete her PhD. There was a lot of struggle from first step only. There was so much of struggle for us to get a guide. After getting a guide, the kind of subject she has to pick up, the kind of topic she has to pick up, after getting that topic, Then you'll have to you have to give a presentation, and so many times or topics they will only suggest, they will only reject. So many times she's been through that kind of situation, and after that they will not allow her to go forward. Only she dropped PhD. The same guide whom she had been to, she's dropped many SC/ST candidates. She will accept the candidates and then she will reject them. Do you have any data on that? Who is working on all these things? And how about the law and order? Is there any kind of a checks that has been done on the police also? How many cases are coming? When I went to cyber crime, they are taking not only the information as to my name, our name or number, and what is the problem. They have one place which is they're asking for caste. I don't know why the hell the police needs the caste in the complaint sheet. I don't understand. If there is any necessity for a caste in a police sheet, that should be to check how each caste has been treated by the police system. Those things, nothing is happening. They're just taking a caste. Once they glance through your caste, where you will be put. Anyway, in my sister's FIR, we did not put her the caste. We refused to put the caste in that. Why is all this happening in the society? And every time the case has been registered, how many cases are registered from the Dalits, and how many people from Dalits came there? Because there's also a register wherein they will write down the people's name and their numbers. Only if they're convinced, they will do an FIR. So how many of the SC/ST people came to the police station? How many FIRs have been registered? If FIRs have been registered, how many cases, how many charge sheets has been filed, and after the charge sheet has been filed, how many got the proper order, the right order? Who is doing all this follow-up? Nobody is doing. Nobody is bothered about me and you, Dalit brothers and sisters. Nobody is bothered. These kind of changes we have to bring in. Until we don't do all this, no. These people, me being an educated, double graduate, my sister and all, she's done four degrees. Another sister done MD and MBBS, MD and all that. My brother has done LLB and all, LLM and all. What is the use of doing everything? We are going everywhere asking for justice. We are not getting justice. No. So it is not. There was a time when we required education. We required some job reservations. Yes, that also the BJP government tried to snatch it away. But anyway, it is still prevailing. The Congress has promised that there will be job quotas that will come back. Public institutions will be brought back and all. Hopefully they will do that, and they will not retract the way they have done in the manifesto of giving social justice for Dalits in Karnataka. Because as of now, this Dalit is sitting on the road, in the pollution, in the dust. I'm sitting every day coming here. I'm not getting any justice. In the justice system, why should the judgment be the final? Why no feedback on the judge? Why no 360-degree feedback on the judge also? It is like the judge gives you a judgment and it is full and final. How it can be full and final? Who is doing the check on the judges and see how many right orders they're giving, how many wrong orders they're giving? Is anybody doing any checks like that? Judges should be held responsible for the judgment they give. Understandably, their judgment is full and final. We will take it, but who will take them to task? They also have to be scrutinized. Nobody can just get off the hook without having any responsibility. If you're sitting in the position of power, you better take up the responsibility and render the justice. Checks and balances required in the judicial system. Based on the kind of verdicts the judges are giving, they should check if these verdicts, when taken to the upper court, are upheld or rejected. If most of their verdicts are getting rejected, then how reliable is this judge? This is how the data should be collected. This kind of data will be very useful for the society. But right now, the government is collecting data, for what? How is the consumer spending? How many youths have come to the election now in 2024? How many of them were actually qualified to vote in 2024 Lok Sabha election? Things like that information they are using so that they can only pass it on to the corporates. Use the data for the right reasons, not only to extort money from the consumers, but use it. So the problem here is they're using the data for all wrong reasons. Data is used to extort the common man, they're trying to extort all the money out of him. But when it comes to rendering justice, social justice, social reforms, there's no data. Just everybody is going blindly, like one whole crowd just walking everywhere around. Nobody is there to check. We provide any checks for these people. Happily they're doing whatever they want blindly. They're taking calls and they're rendered. No justice is rendered. Simply this whole system is flawed here. Though scientists have discovered 8 types of blood in the world in human beings, in India there seems to be 2 more extra blood types, which is like pure blood and impure blood. Include that, there'll be 10 blood types in India. See, recently a diplomat wrote a book. In that also, diplomat talks about Mayawati. He says how he was working for Mayawati, and Mayawati used to take money in suitcases. He used to see suitcases coming inside her office. He said, because Mayawati took, he had to spill the beans, but nobody else did, and is not seen, nor is his colleagues informed him about it. Maybe with Mayawati, it was only suitcases, and they spilled the beans. In the recent news, I've heard that trucks of things were exchanged between parties and businessmen, and also they might be taking in truckloads. Poor Mayawati, she just took in suitcases. See, if upper caste people take whatever it is in the trucks or suitcases, somehow their name is not coming out, and they're not looked down upon. But Mayawati, she took something just in suitcase, her name came out. She's not supposed to be a good minister. Tell me one good minister that's in India who does not take suitcase or truckloads of things. When I raise my voice, I am rude. When you raise your voice, you're teaching me to be good. When I kill, it's murder. When you kill, it's mistake. When I say no, it's being stubborn. When you say no, you're being firm. When Britishers take away the money from India, they've looted all their money. After another 75 years also, they're still crying that the money has been taken away from Britishers. Since 5,000 years, they've made our people as bonded laborers, taken jobs out of them without giving a penny. Our people have, given sweat and blood for these people. How much crores, lakhs, crores that they have to pay for us for our community, and we are simply keeping quiet. Look at the double standards they have. Just imagine the kind of money they have to return to our community. We are keeping quiet. But only 75 years ago, somebody took their money. They're still howling and crying till date.